Hello, my relatives, friends of the light. My name is Jeffrey Hubble. I come to share messages, teachings, guidance from universe, my spiritual team, from my own DNA, awakened. So forgive me, I'm just checking in here. It's a beautiful day, Florida. We're hitting spring here. To ground myself just a minute. Supposed to do that before the video, right? This is how it is. You just call in spirit. Oh, thank you. Divine intelligence, divine powers, connection of the heart and the mind. The spirit within, through the body, the spirit connection, the I am, spark of God in the heart, with the I am above, the divine. We remember, our master teachers, Christ consciousness, our prime creator, of course, our Mother Earth, the divine masters, the divine goddesses, the divine children. For some reason I said that. The divine children that are here, the holy ones that have returned, reincarnation, and yeah, normally I use a microphone, but I just stopped the car because I just have some inspirations. Just want to say I love you. I want to say you are loved. And we are love. We are of our Creator. We are of the light. We are of the purpose. We know all is a yin-yang. We know it's duality in this world, this universe, dualistic universe, opposites. But we're going from the lower to the higher in this lifetime. It was our mission. They say, Archangel Michael says that we've prepared many lifetimes for this moment, this time, this transition of 26,000 years of precession of the equinoxes, when the world was, there was a flip, and that 26,000 years ago we were in this magical new moment of new creation. And it's done all these waves and all these eras and lifetimes, Atlantis, Lemuria, and all we've been through since then. And we got dumbed down, then we got experimented with, and supposedly at one time we had 12 strands of DNA, which I'm not sure what that means. I think it's the 12 dimensions, like the 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 apostles. It's an important number having to do with our DNA. And so we're all about transformation. We're all about transfiguration. We're all about resurrection. We're all about ascension in this lifetime. I have my Hawk fan with me because I just came back from some big ceremonies, and I suppose I'm activated, and so I'm fanning myself. Normally I would smudge, but I don't have anything in here in this car, so just use the universal mana prana chi, life force energy. Call it in. Whew. We have to knock, and the door should be open. We have to ask, and we shall receive. Because the master teachers are all around, but in the realm of light, the consciousness of light, it's not out there. It's not someplace else. It's in the quantum. It's quantum physics says everything is happening now. All timelines, all realities are supposedly this is how it's said, that everything is happening now. Whatever you focus on is what you become. So Saint Germain, the masters, would say, focus on light, meditate on light. And Saint Germain would say, what you focus on, you become. So light is from the beginning. It is the control and the perfection of all things. And what they mean is control from the beginning is that this is a light universe. In the beginning, God said, let there be light. And so, and sure, there's shadow, but in a dualistic world, there's supposed to be a certain amount of shadow. Like every tree has a shadow from the sun and all that. We have a shadow. We have a good side and our not so good side and all that stuff. But what you focus on, you become. But over time, we've had 6 golden ages, Atlantis, Lemuria, all these great lifetimes, eras, and where we're close to perfection. I don't know if anything's been recent, and I doubt that, but we're entering the 7th and permanent golden age. And this is the writings of the Ascended Masters, they're all beings, the 7th and permanent golden age. We're never going down again. So this is the greatest lifetime. So, but we have to look from the internal. We have to look from you close your eyes, as soon as you close your eyes, you start experiencing theta waves. When you're in the outer active world and you're working and all that, your activity of the days, and we're in a beta mind, which is rapid. And then as you relax your breathing, relax your mind, let go of all that active thinking process, and you start dropping in alpha, theta, delta, gamma, photonic, plasma waves, takes me right into humming, singing, deep breathing, and the hemispheres of the brain, one is always dominant. So if you're right-handed, you might be more left brain dominant, or if you're left-handed, you might be more right. The right is creative, emotional, and the left is analytical and that rational thinking. And so when we calm down, when we slow down, it doesn't translate when I hum, but inside my brain, inside my head, inside my being and my heart, I feel this vibration, like the Om. The Om means something like, it comes from the infinite sea of being into manifestation. And we go back into the infinite being of consciousness. Something like that. That's not quite right definition, but it's a very powerful word, right? And the Ascended Masters like to use, they talk about the East and oming and all that, and they say, we like to use the I am, the God in me. So everything you say, I am the light of the world. And you're not saying, I, big me, I'm somebody. You're saying that I am, the God consciousness, the spark of God in me. I am the light, is the light of the world. The God light is the light of the world. So we remember that. We're reconnecting to some really core, real reality, intrinsic reality, the Tibetans say. Intrinsic reality means when you're at your deepest state, deep meditation, everything becomes perfect. You don't even think about the outside world. You don't even worry about that. You might, you just go into the zone. You expand yourself. You expand. You imagine your aura just starting to relax, because it does. So it's expanding, and it becomes into the oneness, the quantum field, the morphogenetic or unity consciousness, they say. We become one with everything. We become one with the tree. We become one with the sky, the cosmos, all other people, and everything on earth, animals, trees. And because of that, we're one with it. We're one with the I am and everything, the God spark and everything. So that's why the medicine men and the spiritual, the yogis and the saints could all talk to the trees and talk to the stones, talk to the sky, and they can receive, wisdom consciousness that the sky has. It's from a different perspective, and there's things to learn. There's things to learn from the sky. And we call Father Sky, Mother Earth, four directions, brothers and sisters of the four directions, fire, water, earth, and air. We're all part of a great family of reality in the outer world. That's the outer world. The inner world we go back into. Just that unity, that oneness, that isness. The isness of being. Most people are caught in, outer reality. Everything about their life and the memory, body-mind memory complex, that, we can't stop thinking about the past, or with this, and unhealed things, and the guilt, and the shame, and the unforgiveness, and the anger, and the boo. So we're all over the place. It's in this mind complex. So when you really relax the left brain, left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, start to come into sync. And there's a little layer on the brain, on top of the brain, a thin layer. It's called corpus callosum. It gets activated. And that's oneness. Those two become one, and it becomes a oneness thinking. So when you're in spirit, you're with others, you're in ceremony, you're, deep meditation, you go into the oneness, which is wonderful. And of course, we are unique individual souls, unique sparks of God, which is wonderful, because that's what we're here for. That's why we have bodies, to share our unique, have the experience, of course, but also to share to everyone, whoever, our family, our life, our world, our jobs, whatever, to share, the best parts of ourselves. We are that spark of God, where we want to give that. Loving people, right? It's people that are of the light. They should share, give. And, there's another polarity, which is people that have chosen, committed, or, reincarnated into the dark side. And their job is to, they think they're taking over the earth. They want to destroy the earth, New World Order. They want to, the big plan was to depopulate 75% of the population, and so that the world would be great for them, the Illuminatis, own 99% of the wealth. That was their plan. That's in these times, as we're coming into Christ consciousness, this great lifetime. They at the same time were saying, no, we're taking over in this time, because it's the massive change, the energy. But really, what they're doing is they're deluded. What they're doing, they're being minions for the dark consciousness, which is, how real is that? I mean, it's a shadow. You turn on a light in a house and shadows disappear. But so they use all the 7 deadly sins: pride, envy, ego, lust, gluttony, lethargy, laziness. And so the way they get their energy, because they don't believe in God. So the way they get their energy is they take it. They cause, the high levels, Illuminatis, all that. They just caused the wars. They funded the wars. They started the wars, funded the wars. And why? People say, oh, it's for economy. It's for, it's good for economy or whatever. And No, wars are just to keep the vibration of the planet down, dense. And they feed off it. It's feeding. They call it looshing. It's hard for us of the light to understand that they are takers. They're vampires. I mean, that's what they do. They're the inversion. One teacher said, we see light, and they say the negative force says dark is light and light is dark. It's a complete inversion of Christ. Satanists wear the upside down cross. Everything's inverted, like all the way down into transgender, and they stopped prayer in school, and coaches were getting arrested a while back under Obama, and those guys that were for praying with their teams before the game. I mean, if they could outlaw that, they would. And so we know where we've been. We know where we've been. The Senate Masters say we had got this to the dark planet. They call it the dark planet. But in a blink of an eye, all the master teachers, archangels, Metatron, and Michael would say, blink of an eye, it's going to go from the dark to the light. Probably meaning from their perspective of, eternity, they're probably meaning in a few short years, this lifetime. And so our job is we came here, the light workers, the star seeds, the earth angels. They say chosen ones, 144,000. I don't know too much about that. Just good souls, the Christians and the good souls of every religion, but to transmute the darkness just by being here, just by who we are. You don't have to. You can learn all these techniques and violet fire and all the master teachings around the world, sure, which is basically what I did. But you got all these young ones, they're just pure. If you notice the young generation, they're innocent, they're pure, They're like, I go to the gym and there's just millions of young people in there. And they're amazing. They get along so well. They're just like in the zone. They're just like, it's like they get caught a little bit into the, I call it mind control or the Matrix, what they're into, the music and the gaming and movies. But the younger generation prophesized in all the cultures that these great ones would come back. We return, these great beings from the universes would incarnate here, maybe for the first time on this earth. And, there's been a lot of suicides of kids, especially on Indian reservations. They come here, and can you imagine going into that, our Pine Ridge, my adopted people, I love of the native people around the world, Pine Ridge Reservation, South Dakota, they say is like the, one of the top poorest counties in the nation. And so these kids come in, and they went through a slew, a wave of suicides in the last 20 years. These kids are just like, you come in, you're a pure soul from the heavenly realms. First time you're here to, on mission. You don't know it. You don't remember it till later. You start waking up, do ceremonies, you read a book, you start dreams, or at one point, right? Because we're born, we agree to come in. Archangel or Michael writings say that we're these great beings, all of us. We're masters, and that we choose to come into this world but we got to be squished down into this body and come through our mother. And what's the first thing that happens? We forget everything. Mary Thunder used to say she had this great story. She said at every talk that she was I call her my teacher wife. She was my teacher, and she's older than me. And we got married. We were together. Great. It's magnificent 16 years together. And she said that she had a death experience. She died on an operating table. And for a heart attack. She was really overweight. But she went into the realms, and she saw Christ and all these master beings, and she remembered putting them crystals in her body and all this stuff in her heart. But she had this vision And she's a very funny person, very comical. I mean, really hilarious kind of person, and just cute, you know. And she said, the master said, okay, you souls, you know, we got a great mission. We're going to go to Earth. We're going to make a difference. It's going to be the greatest lifetime. And we're going to bring it from dark to light. And so come on, you guys. Everybody said, Earth? Say, oh, no. Been there before. No, that's a rough place. Earth is a school. And been a really intense school, right? And harsh and all these terrible deaths and the wars and whatever, you know. And he said, no, it's going to be really good. By the end, you're going to love the end of the story. And so they said, okay. So she would say, I went to this great computer in the sky and I punched in my challenges for this lifetime. I said, my mother would leave me at 3 weeks and I'd never see her again. I left in a crib and barely survived 8 days without food or something. I can't remember. I mean, I remember, but the exact details. It was really horrendous. She had a very horrendous father, abusive alcoholic, and kind of schizophrenic, and really rough. But because of that, her spirit guides came in with her, and she was fully awakened from childhood. She had full psychic senses, and the medicine people of the tribes recognized that about her. She was full psychic, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing spirit. She saw auras everywhere, and she could smell bad spirits. And, you know, she was a great teacher. And when we were messing around and she would say, we're doing ceremony, and we were all joking around her, this one guy who was really good, he could see energy, and he said, Thunder's coming in, everybody. They called her Thunder because that was part of her Indian name. And he'd say, suck in your aura. So we were all being wild. I don't know what, doing things we weren't supposed to do. It's like a school, right? Kids. And then we all go, what's going on, you know? And like she wouldn't notice because she could see auras. She could say, what are you guys up to? What's going on? What's the energy here? We got to get this shit together, right? So kind of a side story. So she punched in all these things, challenging, overweight, and have a heart attack, and and then my life would change, and it was and we'd start this great center in Texas, and we'd help people around the world and travel, but so then, okay, great, I'm going to remember I'm a master. I'm not going to forget this lifetime, and it's just going to be great all the way through. And so then you come through birth, and you get here, and come through the mother. What's the first thing that happens in the matrix? In the agreement here, you forget everything. You're just a kid. Now you're just suffering for all this stuff that you had signed up for. Each one of us. And then we would live that out until at some point we would remember, you know, dreams or this or that. I had dreams of UFOs as a child and native people. Well, anyways, but at some point you start waking up. And then once you get the taste of a real reality of what spirituality really is, and oh my God, it's really amazing. It's God's world. This isn't a dark, you know, it's what you focus on and all that stuff. And then we get on our path. Now we're hooked. You know, we like it. It's like not like a drug, but it's like the high. It's the good stuff. It's God consciousness. And so Christ consciousness. And so we want more and more and more. So everybody who starts having their awakening, they want more of it. They start seeing this, oh my God, this matrix is the weird stuff. And it's like, you know, programming since the day we were born in the outer reality. So we go within and we start learning, we start awakening, and we start meditation, and, you know, learn how to pray and get with like-minded. That's always been important, to get with like-minded souls. We call it soul family. And we start remembering where we come from, that we have angelic family. And there's really literally family. They call it the star families, the star nations, you know, galactic family, because, you know, they say we've lived all over the universe. I mean, look at the skies in a country, and look how many stars there are. Look how many. They say there's, I don't know why this is 2, but there's like 200,000 galaxies, 200,000 universes, and 200,000 stars in every one. I heard that number, so I just repeat it. God knows what, but think about that. Multiply that. Endless space, okay? So Anybody doesn't believe that there's life on other planets, anybody doesn't believe there's beings from all over the universe, right? So it's not just Satan, and it's not just evil if it's not any of that stuff, ETs, no. It's true that most of the star races are good, and we have lineages. People come from different star systems, and people start remembering this stuff, and or it's in their DNA. At some point, and so I'm deciding what I'm going to say. I don't want to say something too crazy, but and I'm getting my input in, so I'm going to calm down a second here. Get back on track. And then the goal is, like Christ, his greatest teaching was not to be saved. The greatest teaching was transfiguration, resurrection, and ascension. He ascended. He walked out of the tomb, and people saw him. Mary, I guess Magdalene was the first person, and he was there. And then I don't know how long, 3 days. I don't know. But then he just ascended. He just went into they call the Ascended Master's octave of perfection, the heavenly realms, whatever. And so that is what is available to us. The yogis in the East say every being could become enlightened in this lifetime, this particular lifetime. Every being on earth could become enlightened, fully enlightened, and ascend if they wanted to. Meaning, you could get off the wheel of karma. You could get off the wheel of reincarnation. You could help end the suffering for all beings. The whole game. And that's the thing. We're here to break down the matrix. We're here to break down the dark elite. It's a horrible word. Call them people that. Elites. The Illuminati, 99% own 99% of the wealth, all that. They figured out what you call secrets of the universe, which are basically, the masters all say they're spiritual laws. This universe is run on spiritual laws, but you don't hear too much about that. I mean, 10 Commandments are kind of part of that, but there's all these, law of attraction, the law of forgiveness, the law of cause and effect, karma, the law of love, the positive emotions, and peace and tranquility. But we have to call for the help. We have to call for our teams to help us. The connection. I call it the connection. Make that connection. Joel Goldsmith, this magnificent Christian mystic who reached the ascension. He reached the enlightenment, and he taught from that place for a long time. He's on YouTube, Joel Goldsmith. Look him up, way back 50s and 60s, but it's so profound. And he says, don't leave your house in the morning. He was into meditation way back then, and he was Christian, but he used all of this stuff, and he said, sit there in meditation until, he would call it the click. It could be 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you need, and where the hemispheres of the brain come together and you go into the oneness, and it's like a click. You're there. And he said, don't leave home without it. Don't leave your door that morning going out into the outer reality until you've meditated. And if you do that, you're going to carry that connection, that's you've awoken in your body and your consciousness and your senses and your feelings and your clairaudience, clairsentient, and your telepathy into the world, which is going to give you that strength, that knowingness that, okay, I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. My spirit is in charge. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not humans having a spiritual experience. They try to turn it around. The negative forces try to do the inversion. So that we're just these little pitiful things that are meaningless. No, we're these great beings. Archangel Michael writing said, he said we were these great beings like Mary Thunder's vision, and said that when we come down here, we're so big that we had to leave parts of ourself all over the universe to fit in and come down and forget. He said, but now is the time. You call all that stuff back to yourself. You're calling back all your magnificent parts, all your mastery parts, all your noble, regal aspects of your soul lineages, of your angelic and your galactic lineages of your, it's just all in our DNA. So as we focus on that stuff, if we call it back to us, we're waking the DNA back up. You know, they said Atlantis and Lemuria, we had 12 strands of DNA. Whatever that means. That was just, we were just this awakened, fully awakened. And they experimented on us and they did all this. They wanted to dumb us down and control us. And, these other forces, they were part of, some people say Satan. Some people say, star beings of the negative forces, reptilians, if you've ever heard of that, and Anunnaki and all that. But most of the star races are light beings. The Lyrans, the Lyran constellation it's so high that it says we have 12 dimensions we could reach on this planet, which is just waves of higher consciousness. They say once you hit the 12th dimension, when it goes up from there, that's where the Lyran consciousness starts. And you could see a constellation called Lyra. The Pleiadians, there's these ancient beings. There's a book called, this lady first brought the teachings of Pleiadian consciousness, which are high beings. Everything's advanced out there, right? For the most part. I mean, a huge percentage of it. Let's say 80% or whatever it is. So, but there are some negative ET races that got in here and, they want power and control. Supposedly there's been galactic wars, which I hated that. They said the movie Star Wars is so much more true than you ever realized. The teachings the masters say. So much more than you realize. And they say, why has there been, 1 billion or more people that have watched these movies and felt a resonance with that? Because, I mean, you hate to think that there's war in space. I mean, no, we don't want that. We just want heaven when we're not. But Earth isn't the only thing. See, Earth isn't the only place where there's challenge. See, we got to think bigger. We got to expand our consciousness and become that there's, right? There's just, so things have happened all over, but then we work in teams, angelic, archangels, and the spirit realm, and the Mother Nature, and Mother Earth, and, the humans, and the animals. We're all working as teams. They call us boots on the ground. We're the ones here because they can't interfere with our free will. They work through us. They work through the humans. We're here. This is our planet. It's our responsibility. We got in this mess because no matter what the bad guys did, we agreed to it. Okay? They manipulated us. They taught us and made us fear. The greatest power they ever had was fear. They manipulated us and to have fear of everything. And they were still fighting that. And are learning to rise above out of that dualistic separation, left, right, and good, bad. And we're lost in a world of good, bad. And well, when we go into the oneness, we become, everything is perfection. The Ascended Masters say, call down the Ascended Masters octave of perfection, which is a higher octave. They exist in these higher consciousness. So we knock and the door shall be open. We ask and we shall receive. That's what prayer is about. But it's got to be beyond just prayer, in the old-fashioned way. And we pray and pray and pray a million prayers, and my prayers do they ever get answered? It's more than that. It's a knowingness, going into the oneness. It's not just God out there a million miles away. Will you help us, sir? No, it's all about consciousness. Think about that word, consciousness. It's such a powerful word if you just meditate on consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is like everything. It's pure life force. It's all energy. And what a man thinks, what a person thinks, everything is neutral until we assign it a label. We assign it as good or bad. It's all vibrating. Quantum physics says everything is vibrating. All the trees are really molecules, electrons. Even the houses, even the chair, if you could see it down to the most basic, it's molecules and atoms vibrating. And then, because this is 3D, this is a physical reality, then, that's part of who we are, a dense physical reality. So we have these things, a world of things, physical. And that's how healers and medicine people and shamans and the saints and the yogis, that's how they can transcend, that's how they can do different things. That's how maybe the pyramids were built, with consciousness, a higher perspective of consciousness, and they have multiple purposes, and one of them to say that these things are possible. Look at all these mysterious things and ancient structures around the world and such. And so meditation is the key, because we want to spend as much time as we can in the knowing, because we grew up learning physical reality, and there wasn't that much more. We didn't know about our own light. We didn't know about a spark of God, the I am, the spark of God within us, that God is us, in us, and through consciousness. We're one with everything, one with the great existence of, real reality, I call it. So I know I'm going deep, but I just felt deep before I stopped at the park to do this, And we want to get back to the organic, the real, not AI, or not, this technology and nanotechnology and the energy EMF waves and all these frequencies that they have. Some beings, forces want to make it dense, boom, 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 low vibration, do. And we want to rise it to the high. And that's where law of attraction comes in. You have to use the tools. You have to imagine something you want something, need something, or whatever in your life, or you want to be higher conscious, you want to get your purpose, you want to know how to help. You got to imagine that. You got to use imagination. You got to say, this is what I do. I help people. Like every dream you've ever had, you want to become a massage therapist. So you had to dream it up first. You had to see it. You had to raise the money to go to school. You had to think of that. Ultimately, you're thinking, massaging people, I love that. And I feel so good. That's why it makes me. And then gradually you manifest that in the physical, right? So it all starts here. It all starts in your heart. So that's why it's important to follow your dreams, follow your heart, follow your bliss. There was a guy named Joseph Campbell. He went around the world. He was a mythology teacher of all the ancient mythologies. And he went around the world and he asked all the ancient cultures. And he said, what is the number one most important thing you would say about reality? And they all said, follow your bliss. Or this was his terminology of it, follow your bliss. Follow what you love. Do what you love. I love sharing of all the experiences. I never thought I'd do this. I love loving people and sharing. I watched Indiana Jones when I was 18, the Indiana Jones movies. That's what I want to do. I want to explore. I want to be an adventurer. I want to see the world. I want to be like Indiana Jones, right? And I ended up doing that. Got to go all around the world and do all this and shamanism. And that's just who my spirit was. I have a friend he wanted to be an astronaut. He was just always fascinated with the Star Wars type consciousness and all this. And he said that he ended up working at NASA for 35 years, retiring from there. Great guy. And he was also on the native path. He loved it. And he was always connected to the stars. And now he does these star origin readings for people. He's got a connection to his guides and does these readings. It's always very accurate. He helped me. But he had a reading that said, and he didn't tell him anything. This is what I'm into, And they say, you are, what do they say? You are more connected to a parallel reality in another Andromeda or galaxy or something like that. He says your soul has had so many more incarnations or whatever in these other this other place. So Earth was like not foreign, but he hadn't had, I don't know, in that. So that's what he was magnetized towards, the stars, and so he wanted to work for NASA. He wanted to be an astronaut. So you know what I mean? See how his really soul was always like that. He just recently found that out from a reader, which he knew that, but they confirm. Sometimes you really these amazing seers, psychics can confirm things, which is really fun. Get confirmation. And, I believe I've had many Native American lifetimes, and that's why I'm so connected, even though I had some Indian blood in me, but it's not that. Everybody says, well, I'm part Indian, so there's, no, it's your lifetimes. And I've had really great lifetimes there, and I've had some bad ones. And I remember a little, I don't remember a lot. I don't say I know all my lifetimes. I have a friend that remembers, he says, I remember all my lifetimes. I've had all of them, but he says, yeah, I've had many life. He's like older than I am, and he says, my whole life has been having a memory of being a Hawaiian. So I moved to Hawaii, and I lived, and I did all this, and it wasn't all spiritual, but he said I completed that lifetime. Maybe there was good and bad, and he said, but I remembered, but he remembered details being there, and like a series. He could write some great books. A series of all these experiences he had were always connected to his past lives. Cleaning it up, or when you clean it up, you're also retrieving the gifts that you had there. And so we're really all doing that, but he remembers consciously, which is another fascinating thing, right? And that's why we're attracted to certain things or places, right? People say, oh, I just love Ireland. I've been there 3 times. I love Ireland. I don't know why. I'm not Irish. Well, obviously lifetimes. And there's things that you need to extract back from those lifetimes. And a lot of things are, maybe higher knowledge. And so that's why your guidance, your creator will guide you those places. So maybe there's something to release, complete, but you're really receiving the gifts. What happens is you go there and you touch the stones, you touch the land, you kiss the ground, you feel the air and the people, and all of a sudden it goes into your cells and your DNA, and you start popping open. Boom, 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 boom. These memories, this life force comes back to you and connected to that you can use for your family, for your work, for your living here, and your consciousness expanding more, so you become one, remembering that you're this great spark of God, and it improves your faith, improves your life, your mastery level, and it causes you to release fear, the great fear program we've had for many lifetimes, like I was saying, and like blowing out the fear program. So I had a lot of fear in life, and I worked through a lot of things. I've been through a lot of ceremonies. I've done a lot of things that helped me. I call blow out my fear program. Now I feel quite fearless. It helps to be in a lifetime where millions of people are waking up, and we're all waking up for the matrix, and we're coming into this God perfected realm, remembering that this is a planet really meant to be a planet of light and higher dimensional. Like the Ascended Master said, the 7th permanent golden age of everything we want, everything we need. It's hard to believe when you look at the outside world and the suffering and the homelessness and the wars and all that, but imagine that being an outer dream, like an outer dream. It's like you wake up, no, wait a minute, no, that's not my dream. My dream is a world of perfection, 5th dimension, where there's food for everybody. Everybody's got equal amounts, enough to just enjoy their life in pure joy, the rest of their life and their existence, and going forward, our descendants, our children, doing this for the children. We do it all for the children, the children's and our children's children's children. The Iroquois, which is my bloodline, Onondaga, they used to have this is how masterful the people were not that long ago. And the indigenous, they remembered. It wasn't until recently that they got stuffed into the reservation, stuffed into the matrix, right? They were more free to a certain extent, I mean, they felt the spiritual world and this world were superimposed, and but they said before we made any decisions, this is how wise they were. They said that maybe they want to dam up a river to make the river run into villages more better or whatever, more water, and for everybody or whatever. And so they would think about it. They'd say, okay, if we're going to dam up this river, how is it going to affect? And they would always work on the premise of 7 generations ahead. They say, okay, how is this going to affect? And they would imagine, and they think about future, and then they say, how is this going to affect our children's 7? How's it going to affect them 7 generations from now? We don't think about tomorrow. Not we, but the society does not think about tomorrow. Throwing trash, the atmosphere and the pollution, and selfish living, and people only think about their kids as much. They don't do family stuff, and they're selfish, and that was all part of the program of the negative. Native say 4 tests of mankind: money, power, ego, and sex. And any of those derivatives, money, power, ego, sex, you can get caught in. And that's how the 6 golden ages before, they were all like Atlantis and Lemuria, all went down. Not because the bad guys came in and Satan and took over and he's getting it. No, we bought into it. We were tempted. They say he's a great tempter. He doesn't have that much power. His name is said very few times in the Bible. But you know what is said a lot? They said 365 times. Somebody counted them, I guess. Fear not. Fear not. In one form or the other. Fear not. So it's all in there. It's all coded. I mean, it's not even coded. That's obvious. What? So they say there's nothing to be afraid of. You're God's child. It's the fear itself. Once you connect into a fear, drops your vibration. It takes you into all this, and then they tell you on the media, television, all this, right? That's the Matrix thing. You're no good. Your self-worth. Everything's out to get you, and if you don't do this and this, right? So, thus, we should fear not. Just enjoy your life. Look at the happiest people old people. Just enjoy my life. Fear God, yeah. I mean, but even that's kind of weird. Fear God. I love God. I thank God. I honor and worship and feel the oneness of God above and in my heart. So, even that, it's just the word fear. But basically, they're saying don't fear the outer world. If you're going to fear anybody, fear God. It's like, because he can, you're respecting him. You're respecting that great parent in the sky, or the great consciousness within, meaning it's kind of like line up with original reality, line up with organic reality, and not this artificial world of outer reality. So think about it. Go in meditation, you close your eyes, you immediately start producing theta waves, which are deep, deep, deep state. If you meditate 20 minutes or whatever, an hour, you go into the bliss. Where are you? You're in the bliss. You're in the oneness. And that's God consciousness. And then you don't even think about the outer world, right? You don't even think about it. You don't even think about it. So that's how they affected our mind. It's been a great mind program. Controlling our minds through media, through everything, the outer reality. And so, of course, outer reality is beautiful too, nature's in a higher vibration. You get with nature, you always feel better, right? We're supposed to do more of that. The master teachers I heard recently say, we want you now to start using less of your devices, your frequency devices, and because there's so much chaos going on right now in the world, and that flushes up fear, and it's not good. It's part of that are still moving through that. So they suggest bring down your use of devices, television, everything, by 30%. That was just a writing, a channeling, by 30%. If you use it like 10 hours a day, use it 7 hours a day. You think about it. If you turn your phone off, which is hard for people to do, and you get out in nature, you're doing stuff with the kids, or you're coloring, you're sewing, you're working puzzles with the kids, or you're enjoying, right, your animals, or just life, and notice how you feel different. Oh, there is a difference. I tried to turn my phone off at night. I was doing it several times a week, where I would turn phone off. They also say turn off your Wi-Fi. In your house, turn your modem off if you can. All of a sudden, this lower density frequency, which is not that it's intended to be that way, but it's affects the human vessel and the consciousness a little bit. You start calming down, sleep better, all this stuff. Now I like to listen to a lot of stuff at night and healing, meditative sounds and different things. The sound of rain, I like that. Videos, thunderstorm, and all. So I'm going on and on. I'm going to stop this because I can go on and on. It's some beautiful healing ceremonies with a bunch of people. There's 80, 100 people there, and it was blissful. Blissful. It was beautiful. A lot of work. You got to work. You move your energy. When you move your energy, you work in the land and these little camps, and you got to get everything out of the way. And then you do the events, you do dancing, you do the fun stuff and ceremonies, and so you're emptying out, and then you're refilling with all this high vibrational love. And it's the more you do it with groups, the more you do group meditation, or you get on the YouTube and you watch these videos or group meditations, Facebook or wherever, and you go into it's that much multiplied. Like Christ said, where two or more are gathered, the more the merrier. The more that person has a lot of life force. Multiply that by 80 or 100. You don't have any, people are, maybe their issues are coming up where you're not fighting, arguing, throwing, chaos or blowing up the whole event. Or we don't do drugs or alcohol. We don't do any of that. We sing, we pray, we laugh, we tell stories or whatnot, and eat together and share and do all the work together. And one big family of light. So, and that makes the vibration really open for the higher realms to come in and bless us. Open our DNA, open more things, our memories of real reality of who we really are. The great beings that I was talking about, that we are outside of physical body. I'm watching people walk. There's ducks on this pond. I'd show you, but it's too far away to show you. There's a little girl with her helmet and her mom's jogging, and the little girl's riding her bike next to her mom. And people are walking all around, the sun's setting. And, they feel better, right? You're slowing them out in the mind. You're getting it out of the thought realms, the fear realms, the separation left, right, and your problems. And you get bliss in with nature. Parks have always been, right? From national parks to, we were in a national park this weekend, and between our state park to these little parks, county parks and city parks, right? You always see people walking or exercise, a great place to exercise. So we're getting back to the natural. We're getting back to the organic reality. We're getting back to the realm of peace that passes understanding. We always call in the guides. Every time I do, I usually sing, and I call in the guidance, and then I try to become an oracle or a vessel, or hollow Indian native say hollow reed, hollow bone, and let them speak through you. And a lot of times that's just whatever comes to your mind. Not because I think it up, it's because it's coming through me. They work with your memories, they work with your knowledge, they work with it, or they just input it right into your consciousness, and you're like, I say this next, I say this next. And now I say, it just pops in my head, right? And, intuitive healers, which I have that hands-on, that gift, and, just put it on, and my ex-wife would say, man, you're so natural at that. You know where to go. You know where all the spots, she'd say. And I have no training in massage or anything. I'd say, it's just natural. I just feel it. It's just go here. It's just like not even a thought process. It's just or we'll do the aura, or feel the. Some people see auras. They can see dark spots in the aura, and then they do whatever to move some of that energy for people, and it's fun. Do it with their kids. Look at mothers. Mothers are the greatest healers. Kids skin their knee. They come up. Mom just takes it, puts her hand on the knee, or she washes it off, puts a bandage. She's intuitively a healer. So I don't like having to do these long ones because people don't. I love it because it just flows, but because I come from a lineage of storytellers, the Native American. It's just what we do and who we are. But people say, you got to do 10-minute videos. You lose everybody. They don't care about the endless stories and all that. They want to get direct messages, like tarot readings or whatever. They want, give me a message for me. Well, that's what I do. But you have to let it sink in. You have to let it go into your cells. You have to let this information spark memories for you. It's coming through. It's a ceremony every time. So Spirit's coming in and sending it through to bless you. And for the usage, it's not just, this is my experience and this is my knowledge and I'm giving you my knowledge because I'm a big shot. No, it's for your use. It's for, we say somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. I don't know why I said it, but maybe somebody needs to hear it. You could be touching a lot of people. And Mary Thunder would do these lectures. All the elders the same way. Grandpa Waltz would go in. He would 6'5", long braids, straight from the reservation, always jeans, boots, cowboy hat. He was medicine man. And he would say, I could stand up here with my drum. Big audience, auditorium. He'd say, broken English, he'd say, I could stand here 2 hours, not say nothing. Maybe sing some songs with my drum. And then I leave here and he'd say, you know everything I know. How does that happen? It doesn't happen necessarily on the street, but he calls in spirit. He calls in the higher consciousness. He calls in the oneness, quantum field, unity consciousness. And yeah, he asked everybody to be blessed with this. The aura that he carries, all the experience he's had, and all the channels and all the energies, right? So that's what we all do. And Mary Thunder was so good at it. Spirit guides, she would have these lectures and she'd talk about all these different things like me, but she was really good at it because she was funny and all the elders would make you laugh. As soon as you laugh, you let down your stress. I'm not so good with with the laughter part. I mean, I have a sense of humor, but I can't do it like those guys. They were great at it. And you just be cracking up at these stories. And as soon as you do that, you open up and you receive all the energy, right? There's no questioning. Oh my God, what's he saying? That's bullshit. Oh, what? UFO people, star people, galactic family. So she would do 2-hour talk. And every time we did this, once a week for years and years and years kind of thing. Somewhere, either there or our place at the ranch in Texas or somewhere. And now I do a YouTube videos, and she would always ask at the end, she'd say, anybody got any questions? Well, how often do you get this? There'd be no questions. When she was at her peak for years, there would be no questions. They'd just be like blissed out, right? Like darshan from the gurus. Give you that darshan, you go away, you're in bliss. People go into this state of samadhi. It's beyond the mind. It's the empowerment of the spirit. Just massive amounts of cosmic energy coming in. And so what happened was she explained it. She said, it's my guides. It's all the subjects I bring up. Spirit would be like, say this. And there's a person over there that needed it. Say this, person over there needed that. Person needed this. They need to hear that. They need to hear that. They need to hear that. And at the end, the 30 people little auditorium class or at university or church or something, and they'd be like, she hit it, the spirits hit everything. The spirit guides hit everything through her. That's pretty powerful, right? That's pretty amazing, right? And that's a given when you hit the Dalai Lama or Eckhart Tolle or some of the great ones, Wayne Dyer, the gurus when they talk, even on YouTube's. They don't have to, like Grandpa Walsh, I don't have to say anything. Quantum physics, and you'd get it all. So they just send, they talk about a few things, they're sending it from the heart. All this amazing juice of the universe. Just like breathe it in, fill your heart, all your 70 trillion cells. We call down the